just, guys, let me explain something.
John Jones has so many tools.
John Jones, and listen, there's no debate.
John Jones. John Jones. John Jones. John Jones, greatest of all time, is John Jones. Look at that. John Jones is a whole nother. John Jones is.
Hello everyone, today we are taking a closer look at Dana White's incredible glaze for John Jones. If you have ever wondered what it looks like when someone just cannot stop praising someone else, you're in the right place. We're going to see how Dana's comments about John Jones go beyond simple admiration and turn into something truly extraordinary. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through Dana's most following remarks. Let's start with Dana White's early comments on John Jones. Right from the beginning of John Jones' career, Dana was pouring on the praise. You will hear Dana talking about Jones as if he was the next big thing in MMA. His excitement was so high, it was almost like Dana had just discovered a new MMA superstar who was going to change the sport forever. The way Dana talks about John Jones, you had think he was seeing a once-in-a-lifetime talent right before his eyes.
You know, Cormier was doing good for the first 3 rounds. I mean, he was working in his inside. John Jones has so many tools and so many weapons. And yeah, I mean, John Jones, it's just so hard for me because John Jones is so young and has so many more things to accomplish. He's beat the who's who. He's cleaned out the division. He's breaking records. And if this continues, yeah, probably the greatest ever.
Next, as John Jones' career started to soar, Dana's glaze only got thicker. Listen as Dana described John Jones' fights and achievements with so much enthusiasm. That is clear, he believes John Jones is not just a great fighter, but an exceptional one. Dana's compliments are overflowing, and he makes it sound like John is doing that no one else in MMA has ever done before. It's as if every fight John has another chance for Dana to shower him with even more praise.
The most amazing thing about John Jones, and listen, there's no debate. John Jones is the GOAT. John Jones is the greatest to ever do it. There's no debate about it. If you look at what the guy has accomplished and what he was doing while he accomplished these things, and what's even crazier about the John Jones story is you think of it like this. Look at what he's accomplished. What's even crazier, imagine what he could have accomplished. And I'm saying that, and he's never lost a fight. Yeah. You know, you can say, oh, well, people think that he beat him. People think that he beat him. He didn't beat him. The 3 people that matter said he didn't.
Okay. Who do you think is the greatest UFC fighter of all time?
John Jones. The greatest fight, listen, I'm going to say it right here, right now. The greatest fighter to ever live, ever, is John Jones. When you look at, John Jones has never lost a fight. Put 2 guys in a room, and who comes out? John Jones walks out of that room every time. When you see John on camera, and if you were in here talking to John Jones, it's almost uncomfortable for him. John Jones beats the out of people, right? Right now in Islam, I love you, Islam, and everything. The fact that John Jones is number 2 on the pound for pound list is, it just goes to show how stupid. They have no idea. They know nothing about this sport. John Jones has never lost a fight ever. Volkanovski moved up, and it was a very close fight the first time. John Jones moved up and absolutely decimated the greatest heavyweight. John Jones walked through him like it was nothing. John Jones is the pound for pound best. I think he's, you know, one of the greatest of all time. I think he's incredible. I don't think he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. For anybody to call Islam the pound for pound best fighter in the world when John Jones is still fighting is nuts and shouldn't be ranking in the pound for pound or doing any of the rankings. John Jones has never lost a fight ever. He's fought all the baddest dudes in the world. He moved it up to heavyweight and destroyed the best guy in the world. As long as John Jones is still fighting, active, and in the rankings, nobody's pound for pound best fighter in the world.
What would it take for him to surpass John Jones in your mind for that pound for pound number 1?
He fought Volkanovski, who's a weight class lower than him. John Jones beat everybody at light heavyweight, then beat the best heavyweight in the division like it was nothing at a higher weight class. John Jones is absolutely positively the pound for pound best fighter in the world, probably the greatest fighter of all time in any sport. When you talk about who's the baddest dude in the world, you put 2 guys in a room and who walks out? John Jones walks out of the room every time. No question about it.
he's fought once in the last however many years. Islam's fighting multiple times a year, defending.
Well,
John's
beautiful. I like that you asked that question. Let's talk about activity. 3 years off. Nobody's ever come from 3 years off and looked the same. John Jones walked through the heavyweight, the number one guy in the heavyweight division, like it was nothing with 3 years off. Yeah, John Jones is the best ever. Ever. And when I say ever, I mean in any combat sport. He's the best ever. You throw John Jones in a room with anybody, John Jones walks out of the room.
Now let's move to Dana's bold statement that John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. Dana's comments here are packed with so much praise, you might start to wonder if there anyone else who could ever measure up to John Jones. Dana doesn't just say Jones is great, he says John is the best fighter in the history of the sport. The way Dana speaks about John Jones, I think Jones was not only a legend but also once in a generation talent who will never be surpassed.
Is Habib the greatest?
Greatest of all time is John Jones.
John Jones.
John Jones is undefeated. Habib was undefeated too, but I would have liked to see
More.
John Jones has been around forever. He's fought everybody in the light heavyweight division. Now he's in the heavyweight division beating guys like, take 3 years off. John Jones went in and made Cyril Gane look like he'd never fought in his life. Who, Jones is the greatest ever. And he's never been beat.
Man.
He's never lost. Then he goes out for 3 years, comes back, and beats Cyril Gane. Like that. Easily. In my opinion, he does the same thing to Francis. What? 100%. Does the same thing to Francis. Francis didn't want to fight John Jones. Guys, let me explain something to you. John Jones is a whole nother. I consider John Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. When you talk about the Alis and the this and that, yes. And let me tell you what, I love Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I love Mike Tyson. John Jones.
Even today, Dana White's glaze for John Jones shows no signs of slowing down. Dana continues to heap praise on John Jones, proving that his admiration hasn't faded over time, whether it's John Jones' recent fights or his overall career. Dana's comments are still filled with glowing terms that shows how much he values John Jones' contributions to the sport. It's clear that Dana's praise is as strong as ever and continues to highlight John Jones as a standout figure in MMA.
Easily made it look like nothing. John Jones is the pound for pound best fighter in the world and the greatest fighter ever. Period. End of story.
He hasn't fought in a long time, but
he got hurt.
I get it. I'm not criticizing.
He was trying to fight.
No.
Yeah, well, it's not like he's just sitting around and doesn't want to fight. And listen to me. I'm not defending John Jones. John Jones has been one of my biggest headaches. No matter what you think of John Jones, he's the best ever, and he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. And he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world.
Except that he hasn't fought in the last year, so he's not.
Because he got hurt.
But if you don't...
If you were coming into a fight and you got hurt, that means you're not the pound for pound best fighter in the world anymore? As an educated adult who knows the fight business, you cannot deny that while John Jones is active, he is the greatest fighter in the world.
Did I not say that?
I don't know what you're arguing about here. I don't even know how we're in this conversation. Where are the helicopters when you need them?
Because you're...
If you don't know, now you know. Did I mention to you guys that John Jones is the greatest of all time?
Is John Jones the pound for pound GOAT?
He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world, and he's the GOAT. And you all know this. Numbers don't lie.
Does he have pictures of you?
I saw that on the internet too.
Jan Blachowicz refractor. Ooh, John Jones. Not that card. That's a very special card.
It's like the king.
That's nasty. Greatest fighter in the world?
We got a John Jones card that looks like a king. Are you kidding me right now?
There is a line, when the line is crossed, everyone started to make fun of you. And that's what's happening with Dana White. Everyone just take it as a meme and Dana White just keep going, praising John Jones. Okay, we understand John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. Okay, but Dana talking him about every single time he just did the press conference, he also spoke about John Jones, and then every single time in every press conference he just start talking John Jones out of nowhere. And that's it for our look at Dana White's incredible glaze for John Jones, from the early praise to calling him the greatest fighter ever. Dana's admiration of John Jones is both intense and ongoing. It's been quite since a journey seeing how Dana's comments have evolved, how his respect for John Jones has only grown. Thanks for watching this entertaining look at Dennis Praise. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel MMA Squad for more interesting and latest news from the MMA world.